Who has made you cry the most? Who has the nicest body? Who is the funniest? Who does your mom like the most? Who has cheated on you? Who was the biggest liar? Who was the best kisser? Who do you think loved you the most?
Damn, that's definitely not alpha. Dude is beta, and she's definitely alpha. Welcome, my friends. My name is Antoine Phoenix, and this is my RP experience. Peace and love to all my brothers and sisters out there. Thank you for hitting the like button, subscribing, sharing, and turn on all notifications so you know when I have a whole new video up. Today's video is I want to cover a topic that I don't hear as much now, but every once in a while I hear it come up. And I'm probably going to separate this into various videos. But today I'm asking to the men out there, are you alpha, beta, or sigma? And they have another one called omega. I'm not going to go into all the definitions of what these are. The first one that was in that video is definitely beta because she was blatantly disrespecting the dude and he just took it like that. Now, is one thing if somebody's losing self control and behaving like a total child and you just sit back and just look at them and decompress and measure your words carefully of what you're going to say after they do their vent and rant. But when someone is disrespecting you and you just sit there and take it, that doesn't mean you have to fight the person, but you do have to either get yourself out of the situation, check them, or maybe fight them, depending on the level that it gets to. And that's usually when it's with men. But women, I think, when they come across a man that either has self control or definitely beta, they will tend to get out of control. And I know this happened in my longest relationship because it became a lopsided thing. And I can only blame myself, but it didn't start out like that. We started out as, and I know this is cliche to say, we started out as equals. And I will admit she had a strong personality. And I'm stubborn in my own kind of way. But at the same time, I have a personality that is more, and I am man enough to say this, I have more of a submissive type of personality. But at the same time, I wouldn't call myself beta. Now, I turned to beta when she had the upper hand in the relationship and she was just getting totally out of control. But, and that's something I'm going to throw out real quick too, is while we have dominant personalities and submissive personalities. I believe submissive personalities, and actually, I think it's two different classifications, because I remember I had this Spanish teacher when I was in high school, or was it middle school? No, it was high school. And he said, is friendly submissive and is hate submissive, and is friendly dominant and is hate dominant. Now I forget all the nuances with the dominant ones, but I remember with the submissives, with a hate submissive, they can come off almost as dominant. However, they show more of the toxic or the negative traits of being dominant, such as being aggressive, overbearing, that type of thing right there. With the friendly submissive, which is more my personality, we more go with the flow. We are not against compromising, having empathy, sympathy for a person. But I learned, especially being a man, and this would go for a woman as well, you have to get some dominant traits, because otherwise people will start running all over you. Unfortunately, as I got older and I went through things and I had to learn the hard way, fortunately, I usually need a lesson once, a good lesson once. And then I become, well, the same mistakes that I would make when I was younger, I no longer make. But I have a video by Ripken Fish right here that I'm going to share, and he's going to talk about why he does not use the alpha, beta, or sigma names. And I don't believe in using them neither, really. If I was to talk about anybody's traits, I would really put it on the dominant and submissive traits. And I believe that both people have, both male and female have both of these traits in them. Even though as a man, I guess I should have more dominant traits, and as a woman, she should have more submissive traits. But I know some women that definitely have some more dominant, controlling, boss traits. And before I get to the video, let me first say most men are not intimidated by boss women or women that have strong personalities. They may feel irritated by them. They may not want to deal with them if they are toxic or have an attitude. And maybe if a woman's really successful, if his success doesn't match yours, he may look at you as that it may not work because she's going to look down on me, and I can already see how that relationship will go. But I'm going to have another video tackling the alpha female. But today, we're going to look at, as a man, what do you consider yourself as? And the truth of why labeling yourself one of those could be the wrong thing to do.
This TikTok is why I don't say alpha, beta, sigma, male. Not that those words aren't valid. However, there are just too many variables of men. And there's a simple word, one simple word that from my perspective dispels the barriers between what's an alpha, beta, or sigma male.
Respects me, woman.
Let's really get into it. See, in 2014, I was dating this guy that I would have considered a beta male, but now that I'm 34 and still wishing I had him, I know that he was a great sigma male. He went to work every day. He did everything for me. He could take my narcissism. He could take my bad behavior. He could take me trying to cheat on him and always getting the fuck caught and didn't walk off and slime my ass out. But one thing about him, let me tell you something about men like that. See, when you in your mid-20s or you her age, because she's in her late 20s, because I'm only 34, you get things misconstrued. And when I say things misconstrued, when a woman starts trying to provoke a man that she feels like is not strong enough to be with her, you got mental health issues.
Damn. Thank you. Lovely woman. And it's a point many of us as men know. A point a lot of women cap for, but of course they would cap for it. Now, I agree with everything she's saying. However, her use of the terms is my point.
See, in 2014, 2014, I was dating this guy that I would consider the beta male, but now that I'm 34 and still wishing I had him, I know that he was a great sigma male.
She's differentiating men
Beta male,
based on these ridiculous terms.
sigma male.
Not that they don't exist. I'll explain in a while why I don't use those terms.
Yeah, you got mental health issues. Because let me tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking back on that guy that was really good to me, and I used to say the same thing about him that you saying, but I was in my mid-20s, so I didn't know no better. Sometimes I go to his Instagram and it's private because he got a smart woman. And I look at him, their 2 children together. She's his fiance. Now they have a home. He's helping her raise her kids. He has a great job. She has a job. And I'm sitting in an extended stay.
You're crazy. Wow, it took her how many years later to figure this out? After he found another woman and he's happy with her? And hopefully that woman don't do him, the woman that he's with now. Hopefully she won't do him dirty in a different way. Now, on another video, I'm going to touch on this, but lightly touch on this right now. When women are saying that they are alpha female, this is what men are seeing. We got to deal with all that. We got to deal with the narcissistic attitude, abuse, even physical abuse. Well, definitely verbal, physical abuse from that woman. And that makes us a man, or that makes us alpha. And does that make her alpha? If anything, I think maybe that makes her toxic. And this is the thing why now, even though maybe in the past I might have thrown around some of those terms, I never use alpha because I know the nuance that even though a man can be alpha in one particular instance, he can be beta in another instance. I will explain later. Let's continue.
Girl.
Damn. What you're seeing here is a woman, what do you say? Living in her truth, showing her truth, I don't know, whatever it is. But admitting she messed up, let the man go she thought was lesser, a beta, supposedly, who's now doing far better with a nice woman. Yeah, I think she said he's taking care of her kids. Danger! But no, okay. However, his life setup is financially better than hers. He's not living there. She's got nothing in there. But it's a woman living in her regrets and owning her truth.
Fighting to get my daughter back. Wishing that I had my...
Now, there is a follow-up part to that I'll show you in a while. But I hope you're doing well. Hope you're focused and on your square. Interesting, isn't it? I do not use those terms, alpha, sigma, beta, and certain other terms. I don't do it deliberately. I don't do it on purpose. I do it because me personally, I don't think I need to, because I just make points about men and women. Men and women. And what is that beautiful 4-letter word that dispels the barriers between what a man is seen as or calls himself? Time. 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 Sweet, beautiful time. Moving forwards, backwards, static, everything's happening all at once, whatever. Time. Yeah?
Interesting.
And the reason for time is simply because it's possible for a man to be every single one of those over time.
Yes, that's the exact reason why. And let me explain. Because I'll take a rich billionaire or a millionaire that owns a business, a conglomerate. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but I'm not going to say it again. That person could be a boss at work, bossing people around. He could even be an asshole, toxic. But he's running the company and he's leading men or women, everybody that's working at his company. Then when he gets off of work and he goes home, the wife is the boss. She's telling him what to do, what he can't do. Or if he happens to be single, or before he even goes home, he goes to a bondage place where a woman can whip him and treat him like a slave and step on him with her heels. Is he still alpha? No, he's behaving beta now. Okay? This is a lot of reasons why sometimes men will say just because a man has money doesn't mean he's alpha. Because alpha, I do believe, is a mindset, but depending on certain things or needs or weaknesses that you have in yourself that you might have missed from your childhood, they may expose your weaker sides, therefore making you not the pure alpha at this instance. Another example probably is a man, he's successful, he's rich, he doesn't have the problems of the other man, he's a man amongst men, and then he loses his money or he loses his job. And then he begins to wallow in self pity or self doubt. Then he may be beta because now his woman wants to leave him, divorce him. She's talking down to him. He feels small. Even with her out her saying stuff, he feels small. Is he still alpha? Okay, I don't have a sigma example, even though I think sigma is a combination of being alpha, but yet not needing a crowd of betas around you to be able to go amongst yourself in the woods or something and be alpha.
Possibly throughout his life. At this point here, he probably did something and now he's an alpha or seen as an alpha. Something could possibly happen. Oh, now he's over here as a sigma. Something again happens. Oh, what? Is he now a beta? At what level or point in time is a man seen as any of these? Okay, again in my waffle. There are many men out there that women will see as a sexual alpha. Sexually, they're attracted to him. But does he have a business? Can he create a business? Can he actually create a real business? Or is he working a normal job? Because some women aren't attracted to men that work normal jobs. A lot of women call those men beta males.
What? Beta male.
Without these so-called beta males, none of these chicks with Instagram and TikToks showing themselves off with all these fancy filters would not be. What levels are we talking about here? Here's my point. But let's continue.
I'm looking back on that guy that you would have considered weak because I was, oh my God, I just thought I was such an alpha strong woman. No, I had problems. I had daddy issues. I didn't want no man like him getting close to me because I felt like if he got close to me that I was going to wait for one day that the punch was going to come. One day the slap was going to come. One day he was going to throw me out. So what I did was I had the mentality, I'm going to hit you before you hit me. So I was not a good girlfriend to him.
Bruh. Yo, wicked.
Interesting. Lovely woman. Thank you very much for admitting that. Perspective I've never really heard before. Like, okay.
But as I sit here and I think of all these women who actually go out and you yourself attract a man that you consider a beta, and then you get mad that this man that do everything you ask him to do don't want to stand up to you, don't fight back. He doesn't fight you the way that you feel you deserve to be fought because he's not the man that puts you in that position. He ain't your motherfucking daddy.
Strong women intimidate weak men. That's known. Because if he was an alpha,
Nope.
He ain't your ex-boyfriend. He ain't the brother. He ain't the uncle.
Nope.
He ain't whoever used to abuse you. He is not that person. And then we sit up here and we talk to our homegirls and we talk down on the beta male or the dude that's a little bit more patient for your crazy ass. And then you say that he got problems because he won't stand up to you for the shit you doing intentionally.
Nope.
Thank you. Very well said.
How that work? You got mental health issues.
But you don't have the time.
And that's a totally different argument or conversation right there about what women will think an alpha female is. And I do agree, a lot of people do have different personalities, and some women do have a dominant, strong personality. But just because me as a man or any other man that's sure of himself, that doesn't want to catch a case, that doesn't want to snap one day and knock her head off, either walk away or and I don't think you should just take it. A lot of men will take it if they are in the marriage because, as I say, for men, when you're in a marriage, is a lose-lose if you decide to go away. If you decide to leave her, is what I'm trying to say. Whereas with the woman, is a win if she decides to leave. The only way is unless if she has no job skills, she's never been out there to make a living on her own, and she doesn't have kids that she can get child support from. That's the only way maybe it won't be a win for her if she decides to just up and leave. And only a man may benefit from a marriage if he's totally lording over her and he is controlling her. Sorry, went into the marriage thing, but you see how conversations go, it tend to tilt into something else. So that is why I do not use the alpha, the beta. I do use the simp thing because I see a lot of men making fools of themselves, and they are making women's egos get too inflated. But as the example was made earlier, every man goes through all of those phases right there. The thing is, though, you don't want to stay in the beta stage. And if you get in a marriage or a relationship that a woman has the upper hand, you're going to become beta. She's going to look down on you. And like that woman there, she's not going to have no remorse or pity. She's not going to let up. That one tells me that's what happened with the ex-wife, because she has had no stop in her. Nothing in her made her say, let me let up. No, it was like, let me keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And I realized in our relationship that I failed in a way, because when I went through certain things or financial difficulties, it took me a while sometimes to get back on my feet. And like I said, I would not stay there, but it may take some months, like 3 to 6 months, to really get back on my feet. And while she was patient at times, I know a lot of times she would talk to other women, and then she would just start knocking me off course or distracting me, and then I could not focus and do the things that I really needed to do. So in a way, I let her down and I let myself down, especially when I got into those holes right there. So if she would ever say, well, I had to do this because you wasn't doing what I expected you to do. Well, you made it hard for me to do what I needed to do, because once a man feels disrespected in his house, he's going to shrink for taking it from his woman. And in that phase of my life, I did become beta. But pretty much like now, I definitely am rocking in the alpha energy. But however, will I call myself an alpha male? No, because I know things change. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And while I can handle a lot of things, sometime I might have a moment of weakness, or a time that I might have to shrink away and recover. And with the way that the world is, and most people are in relationships, they don't want to understand when you have to go through something, or when they have to support you or something. They expect you to be a rock and to be indestructible. And I don't want to be in no unions or relationships like that anymore. I don't want, because if I have to do it all myself, then I may as well just do it all by myself, which pretty much like now, it's easier to move and concentrate and do things because I don't have anyone that's pulling me another way or distracting me or accusing me when I'm trying to do the right thing, accuse me of things that maybe they are doing. So give me a like and subscribe. I can keep going on and on. But anyway, if you don't think you are a alpha male, don't get too much into that. Just make sure you are you are handling business, you are striving to do better for you. And if you do have a family, do your best to take care of them and to be a good person. And always try to do what you believe is right. Don't have people swaying you from side to side, because I definitely don't think that's alpha when somebody can just come in, whisper in your ear, and have you like all over the place. Focus on something positive and then just keep cracking at it. Okay? I hope you get what I tried to say. But give me a like, subscribe, have a good day, and good night.
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
We do not live by your rules, dirty word. Your ego has driven you out of truth. You only played yourself, got no game.